trying to grab this particular individual is like trying to grab onto a comet by the tail without any kind of asbestos-like gloves. It's like trying to catch water, like trying to catch rain through an open hand. One of the busiest people in all of show business, Jenn Hildreth. And I've known Jenn for like a year or two. And so we go back a ways. And so there she is. We have commandeered the busiest person in show business. Jenn, who the heck are you?
I'm great. How are you, John? And by the way, I was just in here like looking in the Instagram, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, he's going into the intro. Put it down. Get ready. Okay.
Well, no, you could have still been scrolling on your IG or the gram or the Insta or whatever the kids call it these days. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is there anything going on in the Insta that we need to know about?
Well, John, it is Tough Mother Tuesday. All right. So since the release of my book,
thank you for this intro, because I need to talk about this one author to another. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, Tough as a Mother, a book that I co-authored with Amy Leone, came out in April. And every Tuesday, we give a Tough Mother Tuesday post meant to just empower, encourage all working moms. That's what the book is all about too, through the lens of women in sports. So encourage everybody out there to follow Tough as a Mother book on Instagram, and you can get in on the fun.
So when you came up with this, how long had the idea of doing the book germinate in your head before you finally started delegating time to writing 1,000 words a day and doing all this kind of stuff? How long was this an idea before you started putting pen to paper?
Yeah, it was a long period because it was very personal for me, a very personal journey. That's how it all started. It was thinking about when I was a mom, first on the road, trying to navigate all of that struggle, breastfeeding on the road and the pumping, and then just dealing with being away from your child and your family. I mean, this job, I love this job, but that's a big part of it, is being on the road. So just navigating through all of that. And my oldest is 18 now, so that gives you an idea. Seriously, I was thinking about this when I was, just had her, a new mom, 18 years ago. So then I had the idea, and it's taken a lot of different forms along the way, but essentially it was COVID, where we all had a little extra time on our hands. And I finally said, I'm going to buckle down and write this thing. And it went through a lot of different phases and processes and no's from publishers. It's a soul crushing journey, as I'm sure you are familiar. And eventually, we got it all the way there. So really excited about it. I love how it came out, and it truly is meant to empower all moms, whether you like sports or not.
Because one of the things when we are piecing books together, it's the art of the jigsaw puzzle and trying to figure out, okay, this piece fits here, this piece fits here. Okay, this works well here. If I take this and move it down, does it fit? Literally, the jigsaw puzzle drives you crazy, and that's trying to make a book that makes sense from reading it from one aspect all the way through. That's probably one of the things that drives us the most crazy, is trying to figure out, okay, this makes sense to me, but I need to write it to make sense to everybody else who I need to buy this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, I am eternally grateful for Amy Leone, is my co-author on this book. She's the SVP of Talent Relations at Fox Sports, and she and I just happened to cross paths, somewhere along this crazy journey of working motherhood. And we both brought our ideas together, and we balanced stuff off of one another. So we were really good judges for one another and helping with that. And then, you get the editor toward the end of the process, but pretty much it's still us driving the ship and what we want and our vision. So, because you have this great vision, this great idea, right? And then it's just a matter of, as you said, breaking it down in such a way that it translates to those who are reading it. And ours, we wanted to be really accessible to moms who don't have a lot of time. So it's broken down into small parts where each woman in sports, and there are close to 40, have their own chapter. They write in their own words, and you can pick it up and put it down in 15 minutes, So that was kind of how we settled on how this thing would go and what we wanted it to look like.
Does it help dads out as much as it does moms?
I think if you're a dad who wants to really, truly put yourself in the shoes of the mom that you are supporting, absolutely. Because sometimes it helps to hear it from someone else's voice than even just your own partner, right? So you get that sense of what they're going through. And dads do it. I in no way. We have some men in the book too who talk about it and share their side of the stories, because I think it is really important for men to read this, and it's important to support those men who are dads and working dads and a part of this family structure too. So yeah.
I mean, I had to ask. I mean, it's one of those things where you know that you're hitting an audience, that primary audience, but then there are those secondary audiences that you think if they want to take that step and invest and take the time to read, it will help them out. They may not know it at the time, but if you sit there and it's like, here, read this book, and you're sitting there going, man, why do I want to read this? But no, it's like, if you read this genuinely, you can honestly understand where the other person's coming from. It's almost like defensive driving in a way. Well, I mean, that's literally, it's like, a lot of folks will consider, say, going to therapy as defensive driving for everybody else. And so I think if you read books from the opposite perspective, I think it's just as effective defensive driving to understand where that other person's coming from. Where if it's like, look, okay, instead of sitting there and running all those stereotypes through your head, it's like, no, they're coming at it from this place. Understand that, and then you can have an informed response in kind, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally. It's real. It's raw too. This is in no way a rah, look at me. It's a, hey, look, we struggled too. We all are struggling with this and sharing it. And I think that's where people really connect to it. And the thing, like I keep telling my husband, who one day I will get to read the book. Still working on that. He's great, but yeah, he has not picked it up yet. But I would tell people, like, okay, here's who you need to read. You need to read Mary Carrillo's chapter because you love tennis. Mm-hmm. So that's your connection point. Read what Mary has to say about being a mom. And then, you can pick it up and see if you want to learn some more along the way.
How hard was it to grab 40 and keep it to 40?
Yeah, it was tough. And it's not quite 40, but the way it all wound up. And, we're all busy. That's kind of like what comes with the territory. So yeah, it was years of doing these interviews because I had some that I had done as early as probably 2020. And then we had to refresh and come back to them again. And then we had others, I call Amy my queen of connections. She knows everybody. She's one of those people, and she's wonderful and people really connect with her. And so trying to track down people like Andrea Kramer, Alex Morgan, Dara Torres. I mean, there are some big name people in this book. And then there's also people you probably never heard of, CEOs or people behind the scenes. And we wanted to try to get a really wide range. So that was, as we were putting all the people together, it was like, are we diverse enough? Are we touching enough different stories and perspectives? Because we want everyone to feel represented. And I know we've gotten off on this great big tangent on the book. So thank you for letting me talk about it a little bit. It is still a passion project of mine for sure.
No, but that's the thing. It's like, as a fellow author, and this being your first one, I feel it's important to sit there and, for folks that A, may not know about it, but B, at the same time, when it comes to understanding the creative process of piecing something like this together. And I mean, look, I've written 6, but I've got like 7 and 8 and 9 plotted, but I need to clone myself
I know
to get 7, 8, and 9 done. Literally 7 is halfway through and I've got to update it, but it's like, okay, when am I going to have time to do that? And that's the biggest stumbling block in all of this stuff.
I know. I mean, I truly remember I'd get up an hour earlier. I'd stay up an hour later. Like I would just carve time out because it started during COVID, but it finished well after. I mean, it was just published this year. So it was just trying to carve out that time wherever I could get it. And it is tough to work that way, but come on, John, you got this.
Yeah. And then turning them into documentaries and full-blown projects that go 3-dimensionally sideways. Absolutely. All right. So then now that you've written your first one, what's your next one?
I'm in no way prepared to think about that just yet. I'm still in the throes of the promotion of this one, which, like, I thought when you got that publishing date, it was like, yay, finish line. Instead, it's like, oh, guess what? You're just starting another lap of now you got to let everybody know it's out there. So yeah, I don't know. If we get the response we think we'll get to this, when it continues to reach more people, maybe we do another one, because I know there's lots of other moms out there that we did not get in this book that we could get for the next one.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for book number 2 and the continued promotional tour for book number 1. And the main reason, one of the main reasons we wanted to bring you in is what is across your chest in the sweatshirt that you're wearing. They're down to the final 2. And I want to get into some of the other franchises and big decisions that happened in a bit. But walking into this playoff, if I had told you it was going to be Gotham and Washington that were going to be in the final, what would you have said at the beginning of the playoffs?
Beginning of the playoffs, possible.
Okay.
But not likely.
Okay.
I mean, Gotham's the 8th seed.
But are they the 8th,
though? Are they truly an 8? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they truly an 8.
They truly are.
Okay.
With the performance that they had during the year, they are.
Okay.
Like, that was the season they had. Do they have the skill to be much better than that? Absolutely. Do they have this wonderful team chemistry, which is an intangible that really comes out in the playoffs? They've shown that, but this team has not consistently been able to perform throughout the season, and that's why they were the 8th seed. I mean, every team went through ups and downs, but let's be honest. The second that Kansas City got knocked out of the playoffs by Gotham, it was open to anybody because hands down, Kansas City was the best team in the league this year. That is not even up for debate. It's one of the best regular seasons in NWSL history that Kansas City put together. However, Kansas City without Temo Schwinga is a different team.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to them right at the end of the season, where they really didn't have a chance to adapt to it. Happened to the Orlando Pride, losing Barbara Banda, but that was in August. They struggled for the next 6 games, didn't get a win. They figured it out. They got that goal production back up through other people. Kansas City never had that chance. And then to compound that, they lose Michelle Cooper. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Gotham because I thought they played one of their best games in that quarterfinal at Kansas City. It was the game plan executed beautifully. But I think it's anybody's championship to win the second Kansas City gets knocked out.
Did the Vlatko decision to step away from coaching and just go upstairs, how big of a surprise was that in league circles that you were able to glean?
Yeah, I was surprised. Our whole broadcast crew, I remember we were all texting back and forth about it. And I read Jeff Kassouf's article for ESPN, and I trust Jeff. He's covered this league a long, long time, and it gave me some more context into it, which at least made it sound like, from Kansas City's perspective, look, this was a move that was in the works for a while. They wanted to move Vlatko into this role and let someone else deal with the day-to-day and the coaching. Is that true? I don't know. Did they just want to make a change because they came this close again after a great regular season and couldn't get it done? Maybe. But I mean, I think Vlatko's the coach of the year. People, yeah. I will have arguments with people about that, but I think he's the coach of the year. I really enjoy what he does as a coach. So I'd say there's some surprise, but I also feel like maybe this was a move that was going to happen regardless.
So then if you're Kansas City and you're looking at the coach that goes into that slot, I would think that worldwide, with that roster being healthy at 100%, that this is one of the places that anybody would want to jump into. And it's not just something where you're looking inside NWSL in an insular fashion. You can open this one up and sit there and say, hey, Serena Wiegman, as an example.
Yes.
It's that kind of an impact player that you can bring into Kansas City if they want to spend that kind of money.
I think it is only that level of person that we're looking at here, because Kansas City is not going to mess around with that group that they have and understanding the roster and the potential that is there. You're absolutely right. It should be one of the top coaches worldwide. That is all that they're considering. Like, they are not going to, I'd be shocked if they took an assistant coach from anywhere. They want an established winning coach, one of these names people are talking about. If they could get Emma Hayes away from the U.S. national team, like, we're talking that type of level, which they won't. But, that is where I think that team is looking at. Who that is, I don't know. The Spain coach, and her name escapes me at the moment, but I could picture her. Mm-hmm. That name's been floated around. I don't know if that's right. I think one thing, though, is you have to know this league. You have to understand this league. So it has to be somebody with some ties to the NWSL in some way, because this league is different. It just is. And you need to understand what you're up against.
Yep. And so you mentioned a name, and that kind of rings a bell a little bit because of something that, is kind of hanging over my shoulder. And I don't know if you know this, but in 2028, there's going to be a franchise added to the NWSL. And
yes,
it's going to be in a town that you and I both know intimately. I'm thinking, hey, why not? Emma, if you're kind of tired with the national team come, say, 2027 after the World Cup, you finish that World Cup cycle in 27. I could picture a conversation with Emma Hayes and a gentleman by the name of Arthur M. Blank. Could you imagine if Emma Hayes it's like, hey, look, you got this nice building here that allegedly is going to have only 28,000. And they're going to open that lower bowl. And I both know that 100 and 200 level, that 41,000, that's going to be visible every single week come 2028. I mean, I appreciate them saying 28,000. No, that's going to be your season ticket base come 2028. But I'm thinking, I'm spitballing here. Like
Think big. I like it.
I have no intel on this whatsoever. Maybe we just start talking about it right now. Hey, Emma, when you get tired after 27, if you're tired, don't want to go through another cycle, just kind of hang in the same town that has the Federation HQ. I'm just saying.
I mean, I like that plan, Emma. Just keep that in the back of your mind, okay?
Just saying.
Get out there and win another World Cup, and then hang them up. Come back to club soccer.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to leave town or nothing. You can just, it's like you go see everybody down there in Fayetteville and sit there and say hi to everybody on the fields. But no, you get the big barn up here in downtown that you can hang out. Like I said, I'm just saying, just out there. Yeah. This weekend, when it comes to the title game, what are you looking at with the 8th seed in Washington? And I will have a Trinity Rodman follow-up question after this. But when you see this matchup, what sticks in your head? What are the keys to victory? If you and I are in the booth and we run that tombstone down low, keys to victory, what are the keys for you?
I truly think that the team that is willing to put a little more into their attack will, in the end, and when they do it, can they do it at the right time? Yeah. And can it pay off? Both of these teams are very sound defensively. However, Washington has definitely had to make some more adjustments here as of late. Gabby Carl being out, that's a big loss for them. Tara McKeown, maybe not at quite 100%. She's the leader of that back line. So I think Gotham has proven they are very sound defensively. That center back pairing of Jess Carter and Emily Sonnet, I mean, best in the league, those two. So they're going to hold it down defensively. Gotham has been doing that. I mean, if you look at Gotham's numbers, and I mean, obviously I have an intimate look at their last 3 games. Actually, I've called the last 3 of them. They have less XG. They have fewer shots. They are fewer touches in the opposition box. Pretty much every attacking category, less than, except the one that counts in the end, which is they find a way to get goals. They had 1 shot on goal, 1 in that semifinal at Orlando. And it was a free kick that bounced in. Yeah. So things going right, they're figuring out. But anyway, so what I want to see, what I always want to see in a game, and I think it's going to be low scoring. I mean, I called these two in the regular season. It was 0-0. Neither of them really gambled. They were smart. They were conservative. They knew each other. Is somebody going to gamble and pick the right time to do so? And are they going to be able to execute it? That's what I'm looking for. I think it is going to be very low scoring. I think we're talking 1-0. If it goes into extra time, and so if it stays regulation or extra time, I don't see how you bet against Gotham. I just don't. I can't anymore. Even though Washington is the favorite. They had the better season. They deserve the 2nd seed that they have. If I look at their team player for player, both of these teams have tremendous rosters. But I look at that Washington team, and I think especially firepower-wise, they've delivered more often. Okay, so that gives me encouragement. Now, Gotham, though, what they've done the last 2, you cannot bet against this team. You just can't. They dare you to. Underdog my ass, as Jaden Shaw would say. Right? Okay. I can actually say it. Well, hopefully.
Yes, you can. No. Look, we get the E rating all the time. Okay. So there's no worries, Jen.
But look, if this goes to a shootout, then I think you got to go Washington, because Aubrey Kingsbury in a shootout is the queen. Aubrey Kingsbury, the queen. It's been incredible. She has saved 5 of the last 6 penalties she has faced in a shootout. And that includes the semifinal last year, where Gotham had one of the worst shootout performances ever against Washington, and they lost 3-0 in the shootout. So anyway, there you go. I don't know if I gave you, is it picking the moments? Is it finding Trinity Rodman? If she plays, how much does she play? Can Esther get more involved for Gotham? Because she was pretty much non-existent in that semifinal, and she'd missed the previous 3 games. She's 2nd in the Golden Boot. They have to get her touches. They didn't do that in that semifinal. So I think finding those moments, and there's not going to be many of them, but can they find them? Can they execute? That's going to be the difference in this match.
Is the league at a financial crossroads, considering what Trinity Rodman might be demanding or asking for when it comes to salary figures? Where is the NWSL right now?
Well, we're a league that has a salary cap. I mean, that is part of what makes this league the most competitive league in the world, is because you get an 8 seed that comes into the playoffs and can compete and knock off the 1 seed and be just as competitive and good. I mean, the salary cap is both what strengthens this league, and it's also, it's difficult. It's going to hold you back when big players like Trinity Rodman And it's not so much that she's going to demand this from Washington. It's that she's going to say, look, this is what I'm getting offered from here. Can you match it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? And, do they pony up somehow, scrape together ways, get creative, Messi-esque Miami?
Yes.
Like, is there a way to do that? Well, if there is, you're going to see it happen, because Trinity Rodman right now is the most important player for this league. And what happens with her is big. I think the league's going to be great and strong regardless, but they really, really need to keep Trinity Rodman here. And can they find a way to do it? If anybody can do it, it's probably Michelle Kang.
I'm thinking an NIL kind of a deal. I'm glad you opened that door. You come up with an NIL kind of a deal when it comes to seeing Trinity Rodman selling, whatever insert product here. And I think that's the door that you open. You turn it one of those 3-dimensional kind of deals where it's salary plus endorsement under the league umbrella, and then everything fits. And then what you do is you send that kind of a notice to all the other players worldwide. Hey, we're doing this with this player. We can do this with you as well. It gives the opportunity for folks either A, to come in for the first time, B, to come back, or C, stay. I think that's key to this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And I sure hope we do get a chance to keep seeing Trinity play. And I hope she plays a lot this weekend. They teased that, didn't they, with her coming on in stoppage time with the pink hair last week. So we'll see.
Okay, so if you would please cut the promo with everything going on in the Jenn Hildreth universe and let us know what's going on with you these days. Author, stud, broadcaster, the whole thing. What's going on?
You know what's going on right now? A break. Yay. I am so excited. Okay, so I just had the semifinal in Orlando. I bet you can guess where I snuck off to for like half a day.
The Orlando airport, going from people mover to people mover, trying to pick out a plane when you can get out of town.
Yeah, that too. But I got a little Disney time in there. I'm just so excited to have some downtime with family. Obviously keeping an eye on NCAA because I have College Cup. That actually is my next event, is Women's College Cup. And that's the first weekend in December back in Kansas City. And it was already, my partner, Leanne Sanderson, called it the coldest she has ever been when we were there for that quarterfinal. And I'm already terrified of what it's going to be like for the College Cup. But anyway, so I'm keeping half an eye on College Cup. Obviously still talking a lot about book promotion and trying to figure out where we're going, what we're doing next with that. And then just hanging with my family and enjoying some time. And then basketball for me kicks in also mid-December.
Yes, and we actually had Casey White comes in.
Yeah,
that lead off on Tuesdays, and so we got her to talk about brackets. And so as we get closer to College Cup, obviously where the key is under the mat. You know where the garage door opener is. You can crash at any time. But leading into College Cup, we'd like to have you come back and talk about things before and after, and do all the things. And look, pretty much come in whenever you want.
You know what? Like, can we double guess? Can Casey and I both come? Casey's going to be there too. She's going to be there for the semifinals.
Yeah, absolutely. So Casey D traditionally comes in 9:15 on Tuesdays. That's her slot to talk about anything and everything. It's NWSL, college, whatever. Literally, we went through the brackets on the men's side and the women's side. We blew that up this morning. So the answer to that is yes, in a run-on sentence form. So come on in. We'll figure out a time. If KCD can push things back, if Owen doesn't want to go out for a walk or can stay inside because it's too cold and not want TREATs, then certainly, absolutely, stay.
Or maybe, you know what, John, maybe we could even do it together, depending where Casey and I are and what our schedule looks like. We'll have to talk about that. We'll plan. Either way, yes, we'll for sure have some College Cup conversation as we get there.
Okay, so go by the book. Not you, but everybody else paying attention. Go by there it is, shiny. Now, how do I get an autographed copy of this?
You just have to send me your address, John. We can work that out. I got you.
Sweet.
But Amazon for everybody else. And if you want a signed copy too, just reach out to me on Instagram. We'll figure it out.
Well, Jenn, as always, it's great to see you, my friend. It's always great to see you kicking ass on all the levels that you are, the kicking assness. And like I said, do not be a stranger. That's what we're here for in the morning show. We believe in Turner time, and I know we went long. So go get your morning coffee and Danish and brunch and whatever, and we'll catch up with you just before College Cup. Great to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, too. Always appreciate being on.
All right, there goes Jenn Hildreth, everybody. And Jenn survived the morning show. She literally survived the morning show.